Okay, to achieve that, how many markets do I need to be in?
That's it.
How many, how much, advertising need to do? What areas are going to, what's that each business look like in each area, and how do you build that part of it up? That's why a business, no matter what it is a lot of fun. Where you came from and where you're at now. Welcome to Relentless Podcast. We're here at episode 37. I have Phil from Phil Buys Homes here. So Phil's got a very interesting story. I appreciate you coming on today. Let's just start off with a daily, where you came from and where you're at now. I'd love to hear your story.
How long? How long do I have?
Back it all, as long as you want. Now let's roll with it. I can always cut it up.
Originally from three little river towns, Riverside, Delran, and Burlington City. And, grew up there. Everyone in life has, issues, just different issues. Mom and dad split up. My mom had 5 boys, so it was 4 brothers. At about 10, she moved in with a boyfriend, and the 2 older brothers were raised the best with the most attention. Then when the split happened, me and the little brothers didn't get that much attention, nor supervision. So we kind of gravitated right to just hanging out late at night, hanging out with the wrong crowds, etc., getting into a lot of trouble. It's crazy, man, because like half my brothers were college guys, good guys, did the right thing from day one, and in the same bloodline, without that supervision, attention, we were able to hang out with whoever we wanted. We could stay out the whole night and she wouldn't even know, etc. So, so it's just crazy. Like we turned into little criminals. 14 were breaking in cars that night, blah, blah, blah. And started getting locked up in the detention center since at about 15. I was in the detention center, which means the juvenile detention center, probably 5-6 times. I was allowed to sneak my girlfriend over and she'd sleep over, and I was allowed to sleep over her house at 15. So what happens when you do too much of that at 15? You get her pregnant.
Sure.
So I think I'm 3-4 months in the 9th grade and I get her pregnant.
Oh, wow.
And I'm playing baseball. I really wanted to go places in sports. And, I just kind of got way too stressed out. Think about it. I mean, you're, 14? I don't know. What's 9th grade? 14 years old?
14,
13,
15, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, wow, I'm having a baby. And so I just started smoking a lot of weed, doing pills, just trying to numb the pain. Kind of like self-sabotaging also.
Sure.
I just did not, my teenage brain did not know how to deal with that. So got kicked out of school, back in the detention center again. When the courts found out that I wasn't going to school for about 6 months, they put me in a reform school called the Burlington Day Program. And it's like 2-3 of the worst kids from every town in Burlington County. 12 hours a day, and on Saturdays. You had to work construction one day, then the next day is like half academics, half counseling. They pick you up on the school bus every morning. The school is so bad, Sam. And have you ever heard any of this before?
No.
Okay.
No. I did a program for the military like that, similar.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. I wish it was for the military, something positive. You know what I mean? The school is so bad that if you get locked up in the detention center, they'll pick you up from the detention center and bring you to school because they're correlated with the state. And so I did that for 2 years, got the same girl pregnant again. So now I got 2 kids. Ankle bracelets, all kind of stiff probations, juvenile paroles, curfews, drug tests twice a week, etc. As a teenager, man, life was tough. Life was just tough, restricted, always watched. I always thought I didn't deserve it somehow. I was in that Burlington Day program with a chip on my shoulder, like, what am I doing here? These kids are real deal hoodlums. What am I doing here? I got 2 older brothers that are square guys. Good parents. I mean, they're busy, but good parents. What the heck am I doing here? And, the facts were I was just breaking the law. I was just, still smoking when I wasn't supposed to. So make a long story short, I did something else, and I was going away to juvenile prison. You can go from up to 20 years old. So I did something. They gave me 2 years when I was 17, and I'm still in this program. And I go to court. I'm getting ready to turn 18, and the judge says, Mr. Vaughan, I hear you have a second baby on the way. And I was like, yes, I do. I'm working, Your Honor. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm trying my best. And he says, well, you've been at this since 15 years old. Like, you're doing something every month, every couple months. Like, you look like you're going to be a career criminal. And I was like, no, Your Honor, not me. You know, I don't have criminals in my family. My mom and dad are not criminals. My two older brothers, they're good. But me and the little brothers, we're little criminals.
Right.
And he says, it's justified by law that I send you to Jamesburg for boys. And the sentence I'm going to give you, I should give you 2 years, but I can do whatever I want. I said, Your Honor, I saw some weakness. I thought I was going away, Sam. I saw some weakness. Like, he was contemplating what he's going to do with me. I'm like, Your Honor, listen, I'm there for my kids. You know, my I don't know how old it. My 2-year-old's right in the back, or my 1.5-year-old's right in the back. So I'm working. I just got jammed up as a teen. This is not my life. I just got jammed up. I got into the system. I couldn't stop smoking weed because I had kids as a teenager. And most of this is weed stuff, sir.
Yeah.
And I said, I promise you, if there's any reconsideration, please. And he was like, I don't think that you're going to straighten out, Mr. Vaughan. He says, I am going to let you go. And when he said that, I got goosebumps now because I was planning on going away that day. But he said words to me, Sam. He said, I think you're going to be in and out of jail for years. And I was like, what the heck? Like, man, I feel like, talking about his mom or something like that. Like, it's very offensive for years. Like,
Oh, yeah. So that hit you.
Yeah, that hit me hard.
Oh, yeah.
But Sam, unfortunately, he was right. Because I got out of there, and I don't want to get too deep. I'm like a kid, right, say all kind of details. But my mom was a bit of a hustler. Never a criminal record, but she was a hustler. While I was at that program, she got me a fake lawsuit from a bus accident we got into. So I knew when I turned 18, I was receiving $33,000. So I'm working construction. I'm selling weed at the time. I'm doing all kind of stuff. And so once I walked out that courtroom, I said, oh, my God, I'm free for the first time in 3 years. Now, when you're 18, that's not that much life. 3 years at 18 is a long time, and I'm free for the first time since 15. And I'm getting this, $33,000 in a month or so. And so as soon as I got that, I went to town. I was reinvesting the money.
You reinvested? That's awesome.
In drugs.
Well, at least you're trying to, hey, invested's invested, whether it be in drugs or whatever.
There.
Oh, yeah. If you make money in drugs, you definitely make money on the street doing something good, positive.
And if you're talking about returns, big time returns, real estate, you can't touch it.
No.
But it all caught up to me.
Sure.
And I'm getting caught, left and right.
Right.
And I'm going back to jail again. Then I started doing my own drugs.
Right.
At 20. I split up with the kid's mom. Very, very heartbroken. I started doing the drugs. One thing led to another. Doing harder and harder drugs. I think you were a CO at the time.
Yeah, Cameron County Jail.
Yeah, you told me what years it was. So
right.
I was in there. So I was going the 7-day lockdown all the time, which will kill a man. You remember 7-day lockdown?
Oh, yeah. 3 North A.
Yeah. I was, then they put...
Was it 3 South A?
No, they put me on 3 South C all the time.
Okay. Yeah.
Like not with the maximum.
Yeah.
But you go to 7-day lockdown, then you go to 3 South C.
Mm-hmm.
And Burlington County was way better than Camden County.
Oh,
Camden
yeah.
County is very, very tough.
Yeah.
But I was in there about 4 times. Burlington County another 8, 9 times. Just from 20 to 24. And so my dad was a pretty solid Christian at the time, and he always influenced me. He would have me memorize Bible verses, things like that. He'd bring me to church with him once a month, whatever it was. So I always knew the only way out of this is through God. I don't have my own strength to do this. And he lived a good life, and I knew people from the church that he went to, even guys my age that were getting right. And they're doing well, they're getting married, they're doing this, they're getting into the union, whatever it was. So that was always in the back of my mind, Sam. And so while I was in jail, some guys, we'd all meet up, have Bible studies and stuff like that in there. And a guy mentioned there's a place called Faith Farm in Alloway, New Jersey. It's on a farm, 40 guys there. I can write a letter, and get you in there the day you get out. And I was like, I need something. I can't go back to the same neighborhood, the same friends, the same stuff, same girl, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So, 24, I went there, Sam. That's where I said I dedicated my life to the Lord. I went there for 9 months, free will. A lot of people are there on probation, parole. They had to be there. I was just hungry to get my life back, to be there for my kids. And, that place really, really transformed my life. A lot of my friends, when I got out, oh, man, you're brainwashed. I was like, no, I was brainwashed, living like how I was. That's being brainwashed.
Oh, yeah.
I'm whole now. I can see.
That's great.
But in that place, man, you worked out every day. You read, you went to counseling. You know, there's a church meeting every single day.
Sure.
It's just the most positive thing, and you got to go through all the funk that you're running from, you know, all your life.
And face it.
All the stuff, whatever. If your parents did it to you, or you did it to yourself, or the negative influences, all the junk was just like, you know, melting away day by day there. And after that, I never had a temptation to smoke weed, take a pill, you know, nothing.
That's amazing.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. And then, but my life, Sam, was real jacked up at 24. So my grandfather told me when I was there, he was like, "Hey, it's going to take you to 30 years old to clean up your life. Like you got $100,000 worth of fines, you have child support to pay, etc. And you know, don't think you're free. You got to pay now."
Sure.
And he said, and few listening will understand this. Boy, did I have to pay, and that a lot of people turn back because they can't pay the price.
That's right.
It's too hard. You're living with no money because all your money's going to old fines, bills, stipulations, the county, whatever it may be.
Right.
And so I just had faith. I said, all right, I got to see how fast I can pay this stuff off. And it was so much. And so I was just working just to pay child support, just to put, you know, food on their plates and to pay these fines.
Right.
Working like a dog. And you know what's cool is that I would always go extra. I'd always try to make some side money at the job, whether it's, you know, overtime or something on the side, whatever. I was painting the boss's house one time. I couldn't paint. Like, hey, you need your house painted, just something.
Sure.
And that extraness after all that, and my grandfather was right at about 30, and that's late to kind of be like debt free and like to be free from everything at 30. It's pretty late. But at 30, from that work ethic that I had, I could do anything.
That's
You know what
right.
I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
From that faith and that work ethic together, I can do anything. And so that job that I got when I got out of Faith Farm was in the steel business. First, I was bedding the rebar in the back, you know, with the South Americans, Central Americans, just grateful. I didn't have a license, so my license was suspended for 2 years. I was supposed to go back at 20.
You're going to do it again.
Yeah, so this is the cool part. So like while I'm waiting to get my license back, my second oldest brother is a GC. And so I'm just at this steel business until I get my license back to work with him. And I lived in Burlington at the time, the steel business in Edgewater Park on Route 130. And I would just jog to work every morning, about 2.5 miles, hungry, motivated, no phones back then. So I had a CD player like tucked into my belt.
Oh, yeah.
You know, with the headphones and just listen to everybody, Zig Ziglar, Les Brown, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, listen to sermons, just everything, just running down that street motivated, you know, with that vision that, man, I'm going places.
Oh, yeah.
I just had a fire in my heart, Sam, that you're done with everything and you have to refill it. And what I refilled it with was just that vision, that fire, you know, that hard work. And so I was just lit up, man, lit up.
You're just locked in.
I didn't need anything.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? I just want to work out, be with my family, you know, go to church, read. You know, so I just filled myself with reading and audiobooks. And they said, you know, the average CL reads a book a week, so I read 2 books a week, plus audio, plus a CD player. You know what I mean? Just film. And when I did get extra money, I'd buy books.
Sure.
I'd buy a little course, $100 course. And I was so grateful for that $100 course. Just anything to make me better. And so I got my license back. The judge gave it back earlier. And I went to go give my 2 weeks to the bosses. And they said, hey, you know, we really like your character back there. You have a good appearance. You talk well. You're always a hard worker. You know, we want to bring you up here. And at that time, when they said that, I was making, I think, $8 an hour. And I went to the boss and I was like, hey, I hear that Mexicans are being paid, South American, Central American, sorry.
Yeah, whatever.
But I heard they're being paid half, you know, minimum wage and the other half in cash. I want to be paid that. So I was paid like $5 an hour on the books,
Right.
$3 an hour in cash. And that little cash helped.
Sure.
So that's like the point of life I'm at in my mid-20s.
Sure.
So they gave me a job up front, and they said, we want to test you out. I was very scared, Sam, but I just had that faith. You know, I kept reading. I had to sell, you know, rebar plus 100 other concrete products, forming, auto forming ties, special concrete plywoods, just everything. And it was very hard, but again, man, that faith, you know, where I'm going, those goals sustained me, and they just gave me that why. And I, you know, I just crushed it there. Crushed it there. 4 9 to 5 guy, crushed it. I was up in New York every day supplying high rises for buildings. And there's a little bit of a limited belief because I could have done something in South Jersey. I could have gotten a roofing like the guy next door. I could have gotten into construction. I could have gotten into real estate even back then. But even with all that faith, there's limited belief that I got kicked out of high school my first few months in ninth grade. You know, what big money can you possibly make in South Jersey? And in New York, they don't care what color, religion, age. If you came out from doing 20 years, if you hustle, they'll reward you.
That's right.
And so I said, New York's the only place for me. New York is perfect for me, and I'd freaking drive there from Delran. Now I'm in Delran to New York, 4 or 5 days a week. Often I'll leave at 5:30 a.m., get up there by 7. You know how David Goggins says he loves taking souls? You ever hear that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to shock you, by taking your soul. So I just wanted the customer to see, like, I'm on your job site before you, and I'm coming from South Jersey. You just got respect for that hard work.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? You just got respect. People would call you. Hey, I heard you coming from South Jersey up here, and you're here at 7 a.m. into Brooklyn, not Manhattan, because you got to go through Manhattan and everywhere to get to Brooklyn. So you're in Brooklyn by 7 a.m. So I did that for years, and I was buying rentals, every couple of years. Actually, I bought more rentals when I was in the steel business than I do in the real estate business full time. So I'll wrap it up here, Sam. So I got up to about $335,000 a year, company car, all the perks, all the dinners, wherever you wanted in New York, Philadelphia. And it was cool. And I left there at 38 years old to start real estate. Then I got into wholesaling first. I wanted to, buy and hold properties. I went to Joe Evangelisti's mastermind group. And he was like, hey, you're leaving, $330,000 salary to just buy and hold, full time. He was like, that's going to take you years, man, to replace your salary.
Right.
Even to get half of your salary.
Sure.
And he said, why don't you wholesale most of it? Buy a property every couple months from your wholesale deals, blah, blah. And I said, that's a pretty good idea. He's like, you're going to get your income up really fast. Then once you're matching the steel business, you can do whatever you want. And I said, man, I like it. I like it. And Sam, here's the cool part is that the guys in the mastermind group, we know a lot of them, but I said, these guys are no smarter than me. I still had that inferior complex that South Jersey's not for me, it's just New York. But I'm like, man, these knuckleheads are killing it down here in this. And I don't want to mention one guy's name. Hopefully he doesn't see this, but he looked like a screwball.
Yeah.
The guy I was like, man, you are a dumb human being. And how much did you do last year? $3 million? like I would eat you alive.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I gave my 2 weeks right afterwards.
That's great.
I gave my 2 weeks. The boss like, what the heck's going on? What do you mean? I said, I just, I gotta go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I always wanted to come back home. Have you ever read Acre of Diamonds?
No.
No, from Russell Cromwell. It's a Philadelphia book, and I'll read it once a year, a little booklet, and it's about staying in Philly in the early 1900s. Everyone was going up to New York, and he's pleading, guys, come back home. There's an acre of diamonds in your mind, right here in your backyard. If you would just think. And I'll read that like, man, I don't want to stay up in New York forever. Like, there has to be something I can do back home. So as soon as I saw these knuckleheads back home making this kind of money, I said, that's it. 2 weeks, I'm going. They were shocked. I said, yeah, I'd rather be here building something.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I did at 38. And Sam, I would kick myself in the butt a little bit, like, why'd I wait so long? How come I wasn't networking with real estate guys beforehand or even roofing people, whatever it may be? I wish I would have gotten to this in my mid-20s. However, how my situation was, my kids, they came to live with me, when I got right. And, they needed me just to be consistent.
Sure.
I came out from such hell. This is extreme. And very few will understand this. From 24 to 30, I didn't even date women. Now, I have 2 kids. I was a little bit of a ladies' man growing up. From 24 to 30, I didn't even sleep with a woman because I was so focused on getting my life back. I want to be there for my kids.
That was your most important
thing. When they have a practice, I got to be there. I'm going to be a coach, assistant coach. I'm just going to be there. I got these fines to pay. I can't mess around with a girl. If she's doing something on the side, I may pick up on it because you get these emotions for them and love for them, and you start doing what they do. I was just straight as an arrow, 24 to 30 years old. People thought I was lying. I'm like, people don't lie about stuff like this.
No.
This is embarrassing.
That's discipline. That's
discipline. Yeah, I was just waiting for a good person.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, all that stuff there. So, I still think about sometimes because you see these guys like Rich Weber. You know Rich Weber?
No.
He's 22 years old. He's at the events. He has 200 properties at 22 years old. You see these young guys at 28, and they're at my level, like doing the same numbers as me.
Sure.
Like, man, what the heck was I doing?
Yeah, but I always feel like there's always that time when you're ready. Your body's ready. Your mind is ready to accept the new challenge.
Exactly.
And accept a new level of success.
Exactly.
So it doesn't really matter if you're 20 or 40.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once you're there, and you locked in because already everything you said is almost the same story as me and other successful people. Just a different route.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
So you had to have struggle. Right? And that's what made you such a strong person now. If you didn't have that struggle, you'd have nothing.
Oh, no.
You'd have nothing
you
now.
make the first
Because
win, over.
you already know how it is to be on that side. So, you don't want to be there never again. So you're willing to give up 6 years of chasing that shiny object, right? Because that's what it is, shiny object, to make sure that you hit your goals first. That's
it was
impressive.
It was nuts. I could never do it again.
Hey, but you made it happen. It's done.
And I actually have a few personal problems right now that that contradicts it.
Sure.
But even though I think about it once in a while, I should have got in sooner. It was all meant to be.
It was.
The education I learned, from the Vogelbacher family. That's who owned the steel company, and from all the New York owners. Guys worth hundreds, $200-300 million. Just all the personalities you had to negotiate with, deal with. Chinese, the Jews, the Italians. And I'm talking made guys.
Oh yeah.
You're negotiating with made guys.
Sure. Absolutely. Oh yeah. Yep.
I don't think one big high-rise Italian was not made. So the Irish from Ireland, they're the worst.
Definitely. Sure.
That's the real Irish.
Oh yeah.
I call them the Irish. So all these different nationalities just colors your personality.
Definitely.
I mean, it colors your experience. And just all these tricks. So when I did get into wholesale, everyone was shocked that I hit it so fast because I had a few rentals. I understood rentals. I had 8-9 rentals. And but Joe Evangelisti, he was like, "Holy crap, dude, you're 6 months in, and like you're just turning and burning." I said, "Well, it is from those years of negotiating, knowing people."
That's right.
I mean, even being in jail cells with people.
Right.
Oh
yeah.
A lot of people say, "Phil, you keep it so real. You're transparent, and like you say what you want." I'm like, I know men more than most people. I've been in jail cells with 4 men. I know your inner thoughts, your insecurities. Where you're in rehab.
You know how to break them down.
Guys.
You know how to get to somebody.
You're just around people
you know how to get
all
somebody.
the time.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's talking. He's weird. This guy's great. And it's just you're mingling with all these personalities, and I never knew that I can use that today.
Yeah, you never. I would never. Same exact thing. Yeah, that's a power.
Yeah,
that's a
people
power.
that you can use that to lead people.
Definitely.
To help people, to understand people, to grow people. Exactly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, being in the jail for me was like a superpower because literally within 6 months, I had everyone respecting me because I give the respect. And guys have been there for years, would tell an inmate what to do and they wouldn't listen. And I would go in there and tell them what to do and they would just do it. You know what I mean? And we had this respect thing going, like, hey, do me a favor, go to your room. After he told the other guy he's not coming until I came back. I want to talk to Sam. Who's Sam? You know what I mean? Why wait for Sam to come back? You know what I mean? Because they was doing pull-ups on the TV. And he's trying to lock him in. Do me a favor, go to your room, I'll come talk to you. Done. You know what I mean? Go in there, have a quick conversation. Hey, man, don't disrespect me. I'm not here. Not to do the pull-ups. If you want to do it, we'll talk about it, figure something out, and we'll make up a plan. You know what I mean?
You're cool.
And that's it. They're like, all right, cool, no problem. You know what I mean? But
you're cool, but probably not too cool. Because then they'll sleep on you a little bit.
Oh, yeah. You can't be soft.
I love the cool COs, though. Guys that would just not judge you, look at you eye to eye, things like that, weren't too tough. So that's what you're there.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you got to have fun with them. And again, later on in life, I'll never forget. I was at KB Toy Stores with my kid. That's not even in the mall anymore, but it's closed down. But the guy's like, "Hey, you're lucky. You're a cool shit." I said, "Yeah." He's like, "You probably have a gun." I said, "Nah, I have no gun, bro. I'll tell you right now." Like, but again, they're respecting. And then years later, I bought houses in Camden. This was like 15 years later. DeMaio, what's going on? Holy crap, you're still there, and they're doing good. It's like, I like to see people do good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I see a few. I have one guy who lives in my town. He was the worst though, and I don't even talk to him. He was so hard on us for no reason.
Yeah,
I call him Bumpy Neck because he has all these bumps, and I don't make fun of anyone, but he was such a tough CO that I just call him. Hey, how you doing, Bumpy Neck?
Yeah, well, you get that. I mean, it's different personality. So and again, not everybody's for that job. So some of those people are tough for no reason. You know what I mean?
No reason.
Or hard on people for no reason.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like my thing is, hey, I always want to treat everyone how they want to be treated. Once they disrespect me, then they're done. I cut them off. And that's it. Like, they ask me for something, no. You know what I mean? Biggest thing was like toilet paper, like TP. I'm like, nah. Just mess with them.
That's a Camden County.
Oh, yeah, no, I know all the A, B, C, D. I know all the letters. And sometimes they can't spell that good.
When I went over there.
Oh, yeah. So,
I mean, you're just the lowest state. You're trying to talk to girls out the window.
Oh, signing through the window.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah. The other thing was they'd empty the water in the toilet.
Yeah.
And if you're going through, they try and talk through the toilet with toilet paper rolls. They're like banging. I remember, what are you doing? He's like, I'm slapping. I'm like, what are you slapping the toilet for?
Yeah.
Listen. She's on the other end. I'm like,
yeah.
oh my God, this is crazy.
Hell.
Like people wouldn't even believe what's going on here.
That is hell,
some of the things.
That is hell.
But going back to the business part. I mean, hey, you being leaving the jail and then going into that place with God, meeting God and greeting God and spending time.
Yeah.
You had structure.
Yeah.
You're going to the gym.
Make your bed.
And
all the little things too.
Reading. Listening to every guy you said. I listen to every one of those guys. Every single day, even in the gym, like everyone's listening to music.
Yeah.
I'm still listening to that stuff.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm into.
Yeah.
So sometimes once in a while I'll get into music if I'm trying to really get crazy, but for the most part, I'm just listening to that. And when I'm on the treadmill, that's all I do. I try and work on something every day. Whether I do like a 10-minute warm up or like 45 minutes, I'm working on that phone as I'm doing that treadmill, kind of double dipping there. Spending your time wisely.
Oh yeah.
But I think
the shower, on a toilet, just always just something fun.
That's it.
You're reading something. I got 2 books by my toilet. A lot of people think, it's kind of germs. I don't care. I just no waste of time.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I feel like manifesting is like the most important thing. Like literally, if you go, hey, I can see me being at a certain point, you're going to get there. You seeing, hey, that number 100,000. Back then probably seemed like millions of dollars.
Sure. Oh yeah.
But now, you can make that in a month.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Or a deal, one deal, and you're done. You're out of it. So, you got to get out of the mindset of the flea that jumps through the box, which is, hey, you just put a flea in a box and it starts jumping, starts hitting his head.
Mentality,
that's it. You want to be able to top off as much as you possibly can.
And that's super important because, we're only going to go as high as our thoughts. We're only going to go as high as what you believe you can go.
That's right.
So this is pretty funny. And sometimes you got to do in every department of your life. Not just for business or not just your body or not just your relationship, whatever, but, we're at 5 million this year, trying to get to 50 million at 10X. I read the book, 10X or 2X, 4 times, but I said, you know what? I don't even believe I can get to 50 million now. Like this is something, and every time I think of 50 million, like I get I don't know, just conflicting thoughts. And so I did an exercise where I put a plan out, a strategy for 50 million. How much do I have to market every month? What people do I need? A pretty brilliant plan. Then I even reinforced it with, I did a P&L. I have like a pro forma, for our finances now. I said, let me put, 50 million in here. And I'm just, chewing on it, ruminating on it, stretching it out, thinking of different ways. And if I didn't do that, there's no sustainable way I'm going to get to 50 million. So you really have to have the goal. You have to have that hope. You have to see yourself being there first. And it's as simple as, from my jail cell, I just remember in Berlin County Jail, me visualizing from my jail cell, like, I'm going to have a gym habit alone. Just to go to the gym alone, Sam, was a freaking major success. I dreamed of it. So I'm sitting there with headphones in my freaking jail bed with a 1-inch thick mattress. Back was always hurting. You ever lay on one of those beds, by the way?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's big.
Oh, they're freaking worse. And I'm just visualizing a gym habit. Okay, and I'm visualizing going to church. I go to church often, you know what I mean? Blah, blah. All these really basic things. So even from being in that jail, and let's just say I make $200,000 a year, that's almost as equivalent to me being here going to 50 million. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I was visualizing back then. I had those goals, and so you just got to keep elevating them. And I don't think many people know how important that is.
No.
How are you viewing your future self? Are you excited where you're going? Do you have those concrete visualizations?
Absolutely.
And people say it's pie in the sky, but it's biblical. I think it's common sense. And,
it's common sense, but it's not taught. So it's not taught in school.
no,
Like
it's not
literally,
taught.
your goal was to do really good,
Yep.
get a really good job, pay a lot of taxes, and that's
Yeah,
it. Like you're
yeah,
working in for somebody else, and
Yeah,
you're gonna make a lot of money, but you're paying a lot of taxes. So
Yep.
I feel like what you said, the 50 million,
Yeah.
very attainable.
Yeah.
You write the number down.
Yep.
You say, hey, my goal is to get there in 5 years,
Yeah.
3 years, whatever it may be,
Yeah.
and go, okay, to achieve that,
Yeah.
how many markets do I need to be in?
That's it.
How many, how much, advertising need to do?
Yep.
What areas
How
are
many
going
people do we
to,
need?
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
What's how each business look like in each area, and how do you build that part of it up? That's why a business, no matter what it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So you got to take it as a lot of fun, because listen, it's not easy. It's like going to the gym.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I hate doing this. Well, you can't hate doing it either. And even if you don't feel like going, that's the days you really got to push
they're the
through.
best ones,
And you
yeah.
just got to jump. Like this morning, I didn't feel like getting in the ice plunge. I'm like, I'm going back and forth.
You have one in your
I'm
house,
stalling.
right?
Yeah, I'm right in my closet. So
yeah,
like the next, that was probably the best thing I've ever added so
Yeah,
far in the
really?
last 3 or 4 years.
Really?
Oh, it's a game changer. Because as soon as I jump in there,
Yeah.
I'm like high all day. I'm pumped. I'm responsive.
Really?
I'm ready to roll.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And today I was like, it's cold. It's cold.
Yeah.
I'm like in my head, stop being a baby. So I wouldn't even.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
literally
yeah.
shut that down in my brain.
Yeah.
Jumped in there and like, all right, here we go. You know what I mean? 4 or 5 minutes later, done.
Oh, you do 4 or 5 minutes?
Yeah.
What degree is it at?
39 degrees.
Okay, that's what I heard. In
Yeah.
the 30s.
Yeah. Between 38 and
Yeah,
40.
I did it 2 times. I was a wussy in it. You know what I
Well,
mean? But
I
gotta
build
get
up to
one.
that. It's like anything else. So my first time was 30 seconds.
Yeah, yeah,
Second
yeah.
time was 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Third time was supposed to be a minute, was 45
Right,
seconds.
right,
Next
right.
time was a
Yeah,
minute, all the way a
yeah,
minute 30.
yeah.
And then, listen, once you get to like 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and once you get your breathing and your mind right,
Yeah.
the first 10 seconds always sucks.
Yeah.
Everything else is exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You already know.
Yeah, yeah.
You already know. Your body already
I was
knows.
doing one at a hotel in New York, and I was jumping in the jacuzzi, then the ice bath. I'm like, oh man, I'm doing good. It's not that cold. Maybe I got tougher. Then I found out I was at like 54 or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't the recommended 30s.
Right,
I'm
right.
like, oh crap! I wish I didn't know. But yeah, I do want to feel that natural high though from
Yeah.
that ice bath.
Oh,
I'm hearing
it's
a lot about
definite.
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
I gotta
definite.
get one.
Yeah.
I gotta get one of those for sure.
Yeah, I'll give you the connection for that too, because they're like 10 grand
Yeah,
online.
yeah.
They're good for like 3 grand.
Gotcha,
You know what I mean? And it's the best one.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about nothing. It's
Yeah.
self, propels,
Yeah.
ozone machine in it,
Oh, really?
controlled by
and
your
you have the,
cell
red
phone.
light sauna too, right?
Yes.
And what do you go back and forth?
Yeah. So it's like a mixture. So it's like 10 minutes infrared sauna.
Yeah.
Then I wait 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes in the ice plunge. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
4 minutes in the ice plunge. Then I
Yeah.
wait 10 minutes. Then I do the steam sauna in my shower, and then I do just a regular shower, and
Nice,
then
nice.
I roll out.
Yeah. Asylum has that combo. You ever go to Asylum?
No, never heard of it.
Yeah, it's
I'm just kidding, Umar. He's the man.
yeah, that's so funny.
Umar's the man. So he's.
I wouldn't remember Umar's name. I have his number, but
Yeah, Umar's phenomenal.
So he has a cool combo there.
That's who got me
Yeah.
started on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
I have the plunge all in.
Okay.
He has a similar one.
Yeah.
His commercial grade. So
Okay.
I basically got the same exact one.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's got
does
the
Umar
infrared.
watch this?
Yeah, he does.
Oh,
He
boy,
does.
He's gonna rat me out because my shins get freaking cold for like
Well, did he-
my shins crack.
Do they? Really?
Yeah, and I had to wrap something around my shin. Just I don't know what it is. Like,
Whatever it
what?
takes.
It's so
Hey,
weird.
It's your body. Every
But
body.
he has
everything.
video of it. I'm like, I'm not posting that.
Did he put the things on your feet? The little scuba diver gear on your feet? Because that's what I did.
No.
Okay, you
No.
got to do that because I feel like your
really?
feet. Your feet get coldest the fastest.
All right, maybe
I
that
put
will
the
help
scuba. Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's a game changer
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just there like last week.
Oh, really?
I probably try and go once a month to
Yeah, yeah.
Umar.
Boy, he tears you up.
He does. He does.
Kind of bad things.
Oh yeah, he's shocking you up.
Yeah,
Starting off, then he's cracking you all over the place.
Yeah, I got to go there for my shoulder. But it'll be way more painful what he does, but I know it's good for you overall.
Overall,
Yeah, I got to
yeah.
go there for my left shoulder. It's all tweaked out.
And now he's doing the IVs. So
Oh, is it
I
really?
try and do the IVs like once a month. I just feel like
Which ones?
just a wellness IV.
Okay, gotcha.
So it puts a lot of like vitamin D,
Yeah, yeah,
B12, all that fun stuff
Gotcha. Yeah, I
that your
gotta
body
check
kind
it
of
out.
needs.
I'm gonna text him as soon as I leave here.
Yeah.
But yeah, just one more thing I wanted to add though, like there has to be like many pathways to your goal also, So like for 50 million, I know it's probably gonna be pretty tough to get to 50 million from just real estate, unless I get into big commercial, things like that. But like meeting this guy next door to you, Sam, is unbelievable. He started, so I started roughly 5 years ago, like five and a half years at best, and so did he. I'm at 5 million. I go into his business and he says, "Yeah, I just sold for 60 million." And you never know how you're going to get to the goal.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
I'm not saying do a total 180 or anything like that, but you got to have, just an open mind that it's going to get there somehow.
Yep.
And but just talking with him, he's the nicest guy in the world. He's like, hey,
He's
listen,
great.
I'll help you, man. Call me if you have any questions, blah blah. But so just seeing that, and I don't know, it's just meant to be. I'm coming here, accidentally go over there,
Love it.
and you guys have speaking things going on, and
Oh yeah.
and that's really my passion is speaking, helping, coaching. I just love coaching. I can't do one-on-one. I think it's too much of a time suck. But I looked at real estate or anything else as a stepping stone just to get there.
That's right.
I don't.
That's right.
I'm not in love with real estate. I like it. I like the money. I like the freedom it can provide. But like that's the true heart is speaking, coaching, in whatever format I can. Being an author, speaking on stage, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Consultant. So yeah, you just never know how you're going to get there.
No. So and again, that 50 million, that's increasing your bottom line average ticket. You know what I mean? If your average ticket you're making 20, maybe your average ticket can be 60.
Sure.
Doing those bigger commercial deals.
Yeah.
And then your circle's your circle, and I'm all about inner circle.
Yeah.
But being able to step outside the circle and being open and meeting people like Corey, is also a game changer.
Yeah.
Just like Corey was open to meeting somebody else, and he brought his idea to them, and they were able to blow that thing up.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And just like that, I thought in our area, like I'm crushing it. I really did. I thought, I'm great. I can't be stopped. Just because I'll outwork anyone. Like in my head, I'm like, okay, there's no one that will ever outwork me.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
In my head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I always think no one's ever outworking me.
Right.
And I just keep on pushing until I pass out. Like all day. That's my every day. You know what I mean? My every day is I'm gonna push hard as I can.
Yeah.
Then, something comes along and
To my water. Sorry about
for me, no worries. And then what ended up happening to me is I saw a gentleman that started a business, exited a business in 14 years, sold it for $100 million. And he's doing something so basic, which was the one-day bathrooms.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. He started as a sunroom guy, like a franchise sunroom guy.
Yeah.
He started doing the bathrooms. He offered 4 bathrooms, 4 different colors. That's it. That's Tungerland. That's the company he did.
Okay.
And his name's Brian Gottlieb. You got to look him up. Super nice guy.
Yeah.
I think on Facebook, someone was saying, there's no way. He was just saying something nice on a comment.
Yeah.
And there's always someone negative, right? You always got the haters out there. Yeah, you got all those guys.
Put a puppy out there and say something bad about the puppy.
It's everything.
It's something.
But someone said something. I said, listen, who cares if he didn't or didn't? The content he just said was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then the guy wrote back, hey, ever appreciate you saying that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then I started looking him up because me, my police mentality, I'm going to look it up. You know what I mean? So I'm looking him up like, oh, this guy's legit.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy sold this. And then I started talking because, Sam, what you're doing is great. And you got a lot of marketing and you don't spend no marketing and you got a lot of business coming in. But, if you did this, it's so much easier. You'll be able to blow it up. I guarantee you'll do it. And we did, like literally in less than a year.
You just listen to what he said and just.
Oh yeah, I started doing my research. I researched every single company, came up with what I thought is the best in the business by far. Saw my competition, and they're major billion-dollar players, and go, how can I hack them? Bring in my own stuff. Started importing my own products, and then my own products now. And guess what? They don't have that. So now I got something they don't, and ours is a lot better and the same price. So I don't want to be the cheapest price. I want to have the best product for the best price.
Now, is that what you first started doing, or did you graduate to that like years in after you?
I graduated to that years in. So
after different pathways to the goal.
Totally different path. Like me was, it was me.
Yeah.
I became the bottleneck. Yeah, I can do just about anything. I can walk in the house and draw on the wall a whole kitchen cabinet layout in seconds. No one can do it faster than me. I guarantee it.
Really?
You know what I mean? But at the same time, how do I scale that? How do I teach the next guy? Because I'm the best, which I'm really not.
Yeah.
But, in my head, I think I am. But, when you have that mentality and you're not open to scaling other people, you're not going to grow.
Sure.
So once I changed that mentality, which it took me years.
And what'd that take? Like traction coming in and stuff
Traction.
like that?
Traction. Me reading the book and going, wow, I got a great team. Everyone's awesome. Everyone does everything. But no one's accountable for anything.
Yeah.
So we don't have certain roles. This problem comes in, it goes, whoop, 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 whoop. This one stops, forgets. This one starts to pick up because this one called again, forgets. This one, I'm like, wait a minute, let's just break this thing down and let's do it as a team. Start coming in. We're doing the LT10 meeting in the meeting, in the room next door. I leveled everyone up, leveled me out. You know what I mean? Now I'm the culture guy. Come in, hey, how can I make our team better? Hey, like you said, hey, how can we get to 50 million? You know what I mean? I think we did like a little over 15 million last year.
Nice.
Last month was our best month. We did 1.8 million. Wow. And that's not including my flips. My flips,
all bathrooms.
bathrooms and other renovations.
Gotcha. Okay.
In January was our first real month where we went live, but February 1st last year is when I actually started it. But I researched it 18 months prior.
Gotcha.
So it took me 18 months to figure it out. I tried it the October before. I was pretty successful with it. Now I started making all my roles. I started writing down each player I wanted in my team, what their goals would be, what their KPIs would be, what the marketing costs would be to get to where I need them to be. So so if I put in, again, say I want 12 appointments set per week per each salesman, I know how much money I need to spend to get to that salesperson. I also know what their close rate is supposed to be at that minimum level so that I maintain a ROI of marketing of 10%. So once you do those numbers, you go, okay, I could take this market, I could flood it with this, but then you maximize it. Then you got to go into the next market, do the same thing. Then it's a rinse and repeat in all the markets. So you can expand that out, just like you're saying. Hey, once you got it, you can expand it out. Don't go too fast because again, good to great. You start expanding. Your infrastructure's not built up. But you'll see on the other wall. I'll take you in there. Every role, even roles I haven't hired yet, has KPIs and bonuses associated with that on the wall.
I love that.
Everything I put on the wall all the time. Literally, my goal when I wake up, I have a goal list before I even go out the door. You know what I mean? Which is reading. I can't read like you, 2 books a week, but
I don't do that either.
I do. I like a half hour and then spending time.
Podcasts now and stuff like that.
It's great. It's great. So I think we covered a lot today. Is there anything else that you want to?
I just want to say about Mark Mateo. Mark, your son's here. So we have his process on the wall. That's it, because he doesn't do it. So we got to put it on the wall so he sees it every day.
Like father, like son.
The son's like that too?
Oh my God, I talk about it every day. All I ask for is very simple. 5 o'clock, text me what you're doing. Give me a weekly schedule and give me, at 5 o'clock, text me and Stan your schedule for the next day. You know what I mean? And I figure we get next day. I can't even get that. It's been 3 months. And here's me. Here's what happens. Set an automation in your phone.
It's simple as that.
5 o'clock. Automatically sends a text out. You'll see it. Well, you're sending to me and him. Let that be your reminder.
Like father, like son.
Oh yeah, the apple doesn't fall from the tree.
That's it.
He's a brilliant mind. But the simple, things I really can't get. Again, I try and take the good in everyone and mix it around. But you're absolutely right. So the process, just like the picture. Hey, you come in, pictures first. You see, you missed that. You know what I mean? But listen, there's a lot of good points. You got to take the good with the bad. And again, I think for the guys, if you can get 80% of you in that guy, that frees your task up. That's my goal.
And 80's good.
80's great. That's my goal.
Actually, 80 is great. A lot of people say 70.
70.
80's good.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
That's the goal. So.
But I appreciate you being on, brother.
You too, Sam.
Yeah. Have a good day. Yeah, for sure. So I think we did good.
Yeah, you did very good.
Yeah.
Short, I'm glad.
Yeah, we're 45 minutes in.
Okay. I didn't think it was that long.
Yeah.
It seemed like 25 minutes.
I know. Yeah, we're. You're good. You got an awesome story.
I appreciate it.
Awesome story.
Yeah, I could say it in 12 different ways. Depends, you know what I mean? So, it's also sometimes embarrassing, you know what I mean? But it's my life, you know what I mean?
Listen,
you make the best of it.
It's actually awesome because it gives people realism. It gives people to say, hey, maybe I'm not doing well right now. Maybe someone's in the same position you were when you were 15 or 16.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I thought I was young. I had my kid at 19.
Did you?
Yeah. So at 19, I'm like, okay, now I need to get a job because I need medical insurance for my kid. That's why I started at the jail.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why I took that job instead of, you know what I mean? Keep going because my goal was to be a police officer, which I later did. But then once I got there, I go, first of all, I looked at the guys at the jail. I looked at the guys that were retiring, and I saw their faces and their attitudes. They just looked beat up.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like they look so down on themselves. And I'm like, I definitely don't want to be there. You know what I mean? Nope. So that was my first, inkling of I got to get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? So and again, I think my goal thing was big. So I used to I drew a little thermometer, and every time I had like $1,000, I'd fill it in. When I got to 10,000, that's when I bought my first rental.
Right.
Ripped that up, threw it out, did another one. Got to the next one. If it took me a year, guess what? That's when I bought another one. That's kind of how I built it up. But setting those goals have been huge for me.
Now, what'd your dad do? Was your dad also a CO?
No, my dad was a plumber.
He's a plumber?
Yeah.
I thought he was a cop for some reason.
No. So my dad was a plumber. My mom didn't work. My dad worked all the time. So literally, and it was the same deal that I kind of went through in the beginning, but a little different. So my dad would pick up his helper in the morning because he didn't have a driver's license. The guy was always talented, right? They're doing plumbing, the guy he picked up. They'd work all day. He'd drop them off at 4.
Yeah.
Then he would go his estimates between 4 and 6.
Yeah.
Then he'd come home and type up the estimates and either fax them out with the fax machine or put them in the mail.
Yeah.
So eventually, when I started working with my dad, I was like, 14, 15.
Yeah.
I was always trying to calculate the money.
Right.
I'm like, I'm making $4 an hour,
Yeah.
6, I'm making $24. If I do that for 5 days, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be my mentality.
Yeah.
And my dad would be yelling at me, what are you doing? Get over here, But, he was a hard worker.
Yeah.
And when I says, Dad, why don't you have somebody do sales for you?
Yeah.
And then this way you could do the work if you're not that good at sales.
Yeah.
And he's like, you would never make money like that. That's bull crap. And I'm thinking, I don't think so. I really don't think so.
Yeah.
And, when I grew up, I had the same thing where my first thing was I was picking my helper up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My helper just happened to be someone that excelled unbelievably. He was my first helper.
Oh, really?
Still with me now.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and he was a go-getter.
Wow.
And he came here from Honduras, and he kills it for me. And he's loyal, and now his whole family works with us. And
Really?
yeah, we're like one big family, and it's 20-some years later.
Yeah.
So,
So where'd you get that fire from, though?
so
Like that still to this day you want to work that hard.
yeah.
What would you attribute it to?
Yeah, so I think again, setting goals at a young age.
Yeah.
My dad used to say all I used to watch on TV was Lifestyles of Rich and Famous.
Really?
As like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw it, but
At 4 or 5 years
yeah,
old.
that was it. That was me.
I remember. Yeah, not at 4 or 5, but maybe at 10,
that's like
10 to 15.
I never really got into TV watching, but I
Yeah.
love watching stuff like that.
Really?
I love watching boxing with him. Mike Tyson was like my idol
Mike
growing
Tyson's
up.
the best.
Yeah. It's all I love
praying
that.
that he would win that last fight.
Me too.
Just for the old days.
Me too.
One more win.
Oh yeah, yeah. That broke me down too. I'm like, damn man, even the toughest guy I thought in the world is able to be beat at some time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that gives me drive.
Did you see the Buster Douglas fight? Did you watch that?
Yeah.
That as a childhood hero Tyson was, I was just like, no.
Oh,
no.
definitely.
That broke my heart.
Yeah, Tyson was a bad man. He could knock anybody out, and he had no fear, and that's it. Or he had a lot of fear, and they took it out, and he just took it out in the ring.
Yeah.
So, and again, he had a lot of issues growing up.
Yeah.
And I thought, again, everyone has problems.
Yeah.
I look at my problems and go, okay, they have way more problems than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you always got to say, hey, what do I got? I got my health.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I got my faith.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got my work ethic that'll be unstoppable.
Yeah.
And I don't care. So it don't matter how much money I make or don't make,
That's
I'm
good
still going to keep at it.
Yeah, it's good. And that's simple.
Oh, yeah.
It's simple, and that's a good reminder.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's like we don't have to learn too much more. We have to be reminded of what we do know.
Oh, yeah.
So just something like that is just a good reminder.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then in hearing your story, I go, I did something similar. So, like, you were in the jail.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It builds that strength. It's not cool, but it's cool
No,
because it built your strength. It built you who you are today.
Yeah, it can help you go through hell more than most people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like the military. So I went to boot camp at 17.
Yeah.
I was in a room with 4 people, and I watched the drill sergeant break down men
Yeah.
right in front of me because my bed happened to be the bed that was right in front of the drill sergeant's door. So I was laying down at nighttime when everyone's supposed to be sleeping. He was beating the crap out of somebody, literally having them do push-ups, crying outside the room like every night. And then after, guess what, a month or so, that kid who was a punk, he's a pussy, I hate to say it, he was tough as hell. And he became the platoon leader. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And I was a platoon leader. He took it from me.
Wow.
And then I became a squad leader. But the whole time, I was a platoon leader at 17, by the way. And they loved me until they you're in the, they called it the National Guard. You're in the nasty guard? I'm like, sir, yes, sir. Like, how old are you? I'm like, 17. Like, oh, my God, why are you in the nasty guard? They consider the National Guard, nasty guard. So they still love me. Because
you can't. I thought you had to be 18 to go in there.
No.
What was it? Was it
It's called a
adolescent
split out program. Oh, yeah.
How long were you in there for?
13 years.
No. So what age did you go in?
17.
At 17, gotcha. And
Yeah, so
13 years, huh?
Yeah, so basically my junior summer,
Okay.
straight to Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Really?
Yeah, the whole summer. And I came back, finished my senior year, senior summer, right back to advanced training, Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Now, would your dad make you go there?
No, I wanted to do it.
You want to do it?
Oh yeah, I wanted to. I felt like I needed some kind of direction. I felt like I wasn't giving it hard
What kind
enough.
of 17-year-old makes that decision? So there's something special in you also. I know. I know you worked at it. It's all that's work, but what 17-year-old puts himself in their own boot camp?
Oh yeah,
that's special.
Yeah,
that's real special. Actually.
Yeah, I always like pushing myself, and even to this day, you'll see I push everyone around here.
Yeah.
Sometimes they like it, sometimes they don't like it, but
that's amazing.
I just feel like it puts a lot of A players around me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I met you, and you're definitely an A player.
Yeah.
And then you bounce ideas and positivity off.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday, a girl texted me, Kristen Brindley. She's a hustler, entrepreneur.
Real producers?
Yeah, real
Yeah, I was
producers.
talking to her too.
Yeah, she did. She told me. So I was talking to Phil.
Yeah. She's a connector, isn't she?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
She's nice. I like her hustle too.
Yeah, what does she have some? Yeah, she has something coming up with you. I guess a JV thing or something like that.
Yeah.
Or,
Oh yeah.
gotcha.
We're doing a couple things together.
Yeah.
So.
She's interesting. She's a fellow bibliophile. Lover of books. So I just ordered one of her books that she recommended. Just came yesterday.
Nice.
But you on the magazine?
No.
No.
I never
Gotcha.
really got involved.
You don't think you? Well, you probably won't.
I feel like realtors aren't. Yeah, they're not.
Yeah,
really,
gotcha.
Yeah, my ideal market.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Now, in the beginning, it was cool because
Yeah.
it was like fill-in work.
Yeah.
But I found that there's a lot of estimates you do.
Yeah.
That people are just looking to use that as a credit.
Yeah.
To the buyer.
Gotcha,
You know what I mean?
gotcha.
Or the buyer to gauge what it is,
Yeah.
or not even buying the house.
Gotcha.
So I feel like my time is more important
Yeah,
than
yeah.
that now. And I started charging for those estimates.
Yeah.
And what that did is, hey, I got a lot less estimates there,
Yep.
but the ones I get,
Get money from it.
they're money
Yeah.
and they're good and they want me.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I feel like they're the ones that value me.
You know, she was cracking me up. She said you drug her out for an arm workout. I said, man, that is funny. That is funny.
Oh yeah,
Like, you want to talk? You gotta go to the gym.
that's it.
And then she was like, yeah, we did an arm workout. I was like, he made you do an arm workout? Like his own? And she was like, yeah, I mean, lighter weight. I was like, yeah, but still, what is it? 3-4 sets on tries, 3-4 sets on butt.
Oh, yeah.
I was cracking up so hard
Yeah,
on that.
and she was good. She was keeping up.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah.
I said,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
good. That's
yeah.
that's character there.
That's it. Because she's like, hey, you want to do lunch? I'm like, not really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not really. We going to go to the gym? Yeah, let's do the gym. Let's just do that.
Yeah, I love that.
Because again, you can start tying yourself up with dinners and lunches every day. Like I probably get 3 of those a day.
Yeah.
And as much as I want to be there,
Yeah.
I want to prioritize my time.
No, 100%.
So, and I think I can be more effective without going to lunch anymore because I hardly
Yeah.
ever go to lunch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I bring my own lunch. People are like, why do you bring your own lunch?
Yeah.
And for a while, for years, I bring my own microwave. So literally, no matter, I get hungry,
Nice.
shoot it right in my microwave in my truck, eat right
it's
there
in the truck.
in my truck.
That's the real deal stuff.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
A couple of my boys have that. I always
Yeah.
wanted one. Yeah.
Definitely.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Quick question before I leave here,
Yeah.
Sam. So, like, where are you going in life? Like,
Okay.
What's your next steps?
Yeah. So I think my showcase business is just, my goal is to have it run itself.
Yeah.
And I want to watch people succeed inside my business. So
Okay.
anyone coming in, I'm trying to coach them, consult them to get to their next level,
Okay.
work their peak performance.
Yeah.
Not just working for me. I want them to do things outside of this,
Yeah.
mostly real estate.
Yeah.
So I want them to have the opportunity that I had
Yeah.
and show them what I really had to find out by myself.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I got guided by realtors that were great
Yeah.
that actually showed me the way,
Yeah.
but they didn't give it to me. They said, hey, can you do this?
Yeah.
I could do the work.
Yeah.
And like you said, my first flipper, I did them the job. I'm like, man, he made 60 grand. I made like 10
Yeah.
in 2 months. That's like 5 a month.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's less than, 2,000 a week.
Yeah.
I said, I could definitely do that.
Yeah.
So my mindset, like yours was, if he can do it, I definitely can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like if I can do it, someone else can do it as long as they have the drive.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's that first part of it. Now the second part of it is I do like to see people succeed outside of it. We started doing like consultant coaching with a couple people. I did it with one years ago, and the only reason I did it is I didn't like her at all. Her personality and mine were horrible.
Right.
I knew we weren't a good team, and I said, listen,
A partner or a coach?
no partner. Coaching the client. I didn't know coaching was back then. I said, listen, here's the deal. I have no interest in you. Actually, my personality and yours, we just don't mix, and I know. So I'm going to tell you this. You give me $5,000, I'll show you how to do it.
Right.
And if not, no big deal.
Yeah.
What she do, she ran over, and I'm thinking, there's no way. Stroked me a check for $5,000.
Yeah.
And she still texts me. She texts me today.
Yeah.
Till to this day, asking my
does she
advice
do?
on stuff. She flips houses now.
Who is it?
April.